Hi everyone, welcome to Holatech. Today we are going to understand LeetCode problem number 283, which is about moving all the zeros towards the end. Okay, let's understand the question here, and also we will uh, try solving with the different approaches, either it can be brute force or name approaches. So what is the problem statement is, it's very simple. Given an integer array of nums and move all the zeros to the end of it while maintaining the relative order of non-zero elements. Say if this is the input, right, it has 0 1 0 3 and 12, and it has to print output like 1 3 12, means all the numbers are came at the first, and all the zeros are at last. So what you have to do is, one condition they have kept, we have to do in place without making a copy of an array. Means one approach with basically what any coder will take is, like, they create a copy of array, and that copy of array will contain by default all the zeros. They iterate through the given input, and they will start filling the numbers from start to end, those numbers. Okay, and you are going to get the final output. So that is the approach they are not recommending you to do. So that basically takes the O of 2n, so the space will get doubled. To avoid that, they it's explicitly telling here, uh, do the ordering in place, means the whatever the order it is coming, the same order, and we should not make a copy. There are two conditions: we have to do it in place and without making a copy of it. So let's understand how we can do it. Let's take, like, we have a problem, uh, number it is given as 0 1 and 0 3 and 12. We have the number given like this. Okay, this is an array of nums which is given like this. Now we have to do sort it. How do we sort it? What are the approaches? So brute force approach, what they are recommending is, not to do is, we will discuss about that. So what we can do, we can take one temporary array, right, and which is of the same size. Let's say this is a size, and we by default will initialize all the elements to 0. Okay, and we will, what we'll do, we'll iterate array until the end of this array, and we'll take only the non-zero. Means if, while iterating, if nums, right, if nums of I not equals to 0, so we have to take that element and we have to put that in the this one. Say this is j plus plus, and 10 nums of, basically get nums of I. So what is happening here is, within this code is very simple. We are iterating through the array, and whatever the zero numbers are there, let me disable this. Whatever the numbers are there here, example, let's take here 1, right? This is a non-zero, this is also non-zero, this is also non-zero, right? Once we find the non-zero elements here in this condition, and we are adding it at j, initially j will be, let's say j will be 0, so we are going to add it here. So where in the first iteration 0 will become 1, and the sorry, in the first iteration the number is 0, so it will not do anything, it will move on, and j is still at 0. And in second iteration, when I comes here, and j is still at 0, right? And if it is the when I at first position and it's a non-zero, and it will, what will do, it will add into the temp. So our temp will get one value of nums of I. Okay, this will get now stored over there. Now moving forward, so when I comes here, it is a 0, so j will not do anything, j is still at 1, right? And I is at 2. Now I will get increment by 1, and it is a non-zero, j will still remain at same, and the temp is still at j is pointing at 1, right? So 3 will get come at the second position. Now moving forward, so I will increment by 1, and j is like pointing, j is got incremented, right, when we added a 3, so j will become 2. So once this comes over here, right, and j will point to 3. So here, once we are done with this, there are no further elements, so this loop is going to get completed, and the output going to look like this. Okay, that is 1 3 12 and 0 0. This is the output it's going to print. So this is a brute force approach. This is the not the recommended way. So we have to find a new approach. What we can do in the new approach is, let's write down the question one more time. We have an nums given like this, right? 0 1 0 3, and we have 12. Okay, now let's discuss about the new approach, how we can solve in place. We have to do this in place, right? So let's think about a little bit over in depth about the problem. Okay, what we can do here is, can we do this way? So we'll take one pointer. Okay, that is the pointer which is pointing at integer numbers, and another pointer pointing at the array size. Okay, let's take like j is pointing at the nums. Okay, non-negative non-zero numbers, initially it will be 0, and I is iterating throughout array. Okay, now what we'll do, whenever we find a 0 number, right, a non-zero number, what we'll do, we increment the j, and we put that number into the jth position of nums only. What I mean is, so when I come at, when I equal to 0 and j is just still at 0, right? So here what is happening, it is a 0, so basically j will not do anything, j will not increment, and nums position also will not change. So it will go to the next. When I found I equals to non-zero, okay, it's at first position. When it is non-zero, what it will happen is, basically it is a non-zero, and nums of j means nums of j is still pointing at 0, and I is moved at 1. So nums of j will get this number, and we keep this as it is. We will not want to make the position change. So j, so what I mean is, so 0th position we get 1, this become 1, and this is still at 1 only. Okay, and j will come to the first position, and in the next iteration I will come to second, and j is still at 1. Okay, this value is becoming 1 here. So when I is 2 and it's a 0, so we are not going to do anything. Okay, and I will increment by 1, that is I become 3. And in this condition here, we got number as non-zero, so it basically now put at the jth position, means here it is 1 we have, and here it is a 3 it will come. Okay, and now it will increment the I by 1, means at the last position, and j is got incremented by 1, j becomes 2, right? So here it is a non-zero, and at the jth position the 12 will added, right? And now the loop is over, so there is no further, j is at 3, correct? So now we got j new index as 3, and this is the output array at this position. Okay, it is 1 3 12 3 and 12. This is the things we got, and j is pointing at the third index, right? 0 1 2 3. So from here we will start filling the 0. So what we'll do, we will put a condition here while j is less than num size. Okay, until this we will start filling the zeros. So nums of j plus plus equals to 0. So once we did, what is the nums? I would say like this is not a new array. It will be an, let me erase this. This is not a new array. This is a old array itself. Nums. Okay. And here also the nums. The output will be 1, 3, 12, 0 and 0, 2. So this is the new approach. Why is like basically we are just taking a two pointers. One is j, another is I, which basically iterate through the array. And the time complexity of this problem is uh, O of n, because we have to iterate through the array, and the space complexity is O of 1 because we are not taking any other new array. We are doing the in place. Okay, hope you guys able to understand the pseudocode. Now let's write down in the LeetCode platform. Okay, so I'm going to take two pointer. One is pointing at 0 and another for a loop. Okay, for I in 0 until nums dot size. Okay, so now what we'll do here is we have a nums array here, and j will, this condition will put inside if block. Why? Because if number is non-zero, then only we are going to put that, as we discussed over here, right? If it is a non-zero, then only we'll put it in the jth position. If nums of I not equals to 0, means 0, I have to increment j post inserting. So I will insert that number which I got from I, and another condition will not do anything. Let's say I have another condition which is j less than nums dot size. So nums of j plus plus, I will insert, I'll just blindly insert 0. Okay, now let's print it out. So there are some mistakes, I did it. Let me rerun one more time. Okay, as you can see, like we are successfully able to solve this problem in place and without making any copy. So thank you so much guys. In case if you have any other problems to solve, please write it down in the comment box. I'll be more happy to help you out.